Give us all of the details.
I'll tell you everything from episode 1 to 13, but don't tell Kevin Murphy I told you.
Agreed.
I'll tell you, Jack. You know that. Look, this is what I love about what my boss has done, and it's a bit of genius. By the way, when I saw the first script of this thing, it's not the script we shot. And I don't know how much you know about the evolution of the play. When I came on, there was a script, and it was Kevin Murphy's first day, showrunner, right? And I'd read the script, and I was coming in to meet on the script. And when I walked into the room, Kevin Murphy went, "Oh, this script," and he said I threw it away. And I went, "What?" So it's Kevin Murphy, a room full of boxes, and me, and no script. This is no kidding. And I go, "What are you going to do?" He and Scott Stewart, who directed the pilot, and I spent an hour and a half sitting in the room. They pitched me the pilot that they thought they were going to shoot. No guarantees. They hadn't pitched it to the network. They hadn't even written it down as a treatment. And we shook hands at the end of it and said, "That sounds fantastic," and that's where we went from. That's a really weird place to come from as an actor on a television series. And they honoured all of that. But the original script of Defiance started 7 years later than our pilot that we shot. Nolan lived in Defiance. He was kind of in a long-term relationship with Amanda. Everybody had been there for a very, very long time, and the town was very, very settled. Now, the story that we did was much earlier in the piece, where Nolan and Marissa are just turning up. The town's in transition. It's had one mayor, but it's kind of looking for a second. It's trying to work out its identity, and it's trying to figure out what it wants to be. What I love about the segue of season 1 into season 2 is what we just did was we went, actually, that's too late again. Let's blow it up. Let's start from dust. Let's start from the road. So now that we know who these characters are, we know what makes them tick, we know what they want, we also know how they love to be perceived in the world, especially if it's not who they really are, like all of us. Now what we've done is take away everything they love, everything that they have, every step they've taken towards their goals, and we're pushing them out into the wilderness, into the land of savages, if you will, to start again. If Defiance is a life raft, if the story of Defiance is the story that shows what do I want, what is my hope, what's my hope for myself, what's my hope for my loved ones, because this is all about families. Me and my daughter, the Tars and their son, Paulie and his kids. Everyone has kids, everyone has family, everyone has blood. If Defiance is the story of hope, now we get to start from ground zero again and redefine again. And these characters have gone through so much change, and this time when we get the story of Defiance, our audience has the mythology in place. They have all of the understanding of the tech and the aliens and the races and the war and what can happen. But now what we get to do is we really get to see them struggle. We get to see the Tars struggle like they first struggled when they got off that spaceship. We get to see Macaulay struggle like he first struggled when he tripped over a rock and found out it was Gorman. We get to see Amanda struggle like she first struggled when she turned up at the E-Rep, and we get to see my guy like we never got to see him. Now we always hear about him is, Nolan, when he was out in the Badlands. Well, the collar's off now. There's no leash attached to the mayor anymore. My boy's out there and he's going to do some damage. So that's fun.
He seemed to get pretty comfortable. Initially he was reluctant to be the lawman, but then he seemed to get comfortable after. So it was kind of surprising he was so willing to kind of toss it off again. I think he wants to come back to that pillar of the community, really authority figure that people look up to.
I don't know. I think if you take a guy like that who... he's the last person to have a positive opinion of himself. I think Nolan thinks ultimately he's damned. We found out in the last episode, he's killed women, he's killed children. Probably napalm. I mean, he has done a lot of things. And he probably believes he's damned. But maybe every now and again he likes to think that there's redemption. He's also the kind of guy who is hardwired to do the right thing. He knows that even if he does the right thing, the person he does it for will probably screw it up. And they'll probably take whatever he sacrifices for them and just waste it. Because that's what most people do. He's the ultimate pragmatist, if you like. But somewhere deep inside himself, he's that guy. He will do it. He'll do it kicking and screaming. He'll do it knowing it's futile, but he'll do the right thing. I think he'd be fine out in the Badlands. I think it'd be a relief not to have everybody else's idea of what he should be hanging out his life. But then I think he'd come back to Defiance. Because I think it's not his hope for himself that the Bond's going to Defiance. It's he sees something in them. He can't believe it himself anymore. He can believe in others.
Thank you so much.